This is the brief lecture on Chapter 4 for Human Resource Management. There's a number of lists in this chapter for your reading, which I will leave to you. There's no need to review or me to read the list out loud as part of this lecture. There's a couple of points that I'd like to get to, but let's just say that in looking at the PowerPoint, obviously you'll spend a lot of time in human resources recruiting. Staffing takes a great deal of time, probably in many ways, unless there's some major issues with the organization, problems with the business itself. You'll probably spend a great deal of your time in looking for the labor. Labor markets are very competitive. Obviously, everybody wants, as employers, everybody wants that great employee. So you can reach out to employment agencies. You can reach out to the different labor markets, the unionized labor markets, industry as well. If there's a competitor out there, that's actually fair game to recruit those employees. The colleges as well have placement offices for graduates. You can look to those. Job fairs as well, you'll see those organized on a community by community level. There's a great deal of resources available, but again, finding that one or two or three group of individuals for your positions is the key. I want to mention that a lot of companies spend a lot of time trying to fashion their ads very carefully. This is on page 78 in your book. The candidates that look at these ads, I think, often read what they want to read. So sometimes just it can be a waste of time trying to limit or provide greater details for the job itself. Just be aware that people will apply for jobs who are not qualified in spite of the statements for qualification in your ads. You do want to, though, make your ads attractive, and I think that's probably the key in terms of marketing for your labor and to recruit your new employees. So I'm going to move on to slide 4.3, which is on page 83 in your book. There's a question here I think that the book doesn't raise, which is knowing what criteria you have listed for the job search as you recruit individuals. What are the levels of performance that you require? How will you know this individual will be in that group of people who will perform? A number of questions, but the thing that's not in the book is, in a sense, does the team that is using this rubric know these standards? Is the team that's recruiting, from the HR team to the field team, looking at these individual applicants, do they understand what these criteria mean? And I've served on a number of committees for hire where the individuals just showed up and did not prepare. No criticism on their part. I know that their schedules probably were too busy, but there is a level of commitment that these hiring committees must step into. And your job in HR is to make sure that those members of that committee are on board with all of these levels of criteria, the ones that you pick. But I think this figure gives you a sense of what's needed. So again, just as a summary, the question is, these are fine items. These are great figures in the book. I do enjoy the way these organizational flowcharts work here. But on page 83, I think the big question to take away is the team that's hiring the candidates aware of these standards and what's expected.